Following on from the video of the hot wire cutter, I'll just show you the controller that I use for powering that the wire on the bow. Fantastic device is this. This is the power supply from a tower type PC. The bit in the metal box is obviously the power, and I've got a standard sort of kettle lead to power it at the back. And I don't use very many of the wires, as you can see. The beauty of the computer power supply is that it can produce the sort of amperage that I'm looking for. You need about 3 amps for a hot wire cutter, just at low voltage, just at 12 volts. Now, all these wires that are fixed onto various bits of the computer, disk drives and what have you, there's a lot of them that are actually 12 volt supply wires. So you take your pick basically, and I've chosen at the bottom there the yellow and black wire, which will produce me 12 volts at reasonable amperage actually. And the beauty of this is that you know, it's all sort of controlled, short circuit controlled, and a fan to cool it if you're taking too much power, which really and truly I'm not. But the thing is that I wanted some sort of variable system, because I've got 2 different bows, one with quite a long wire to cut wing profiles, and the other one that I showed you, which is a shorter wire, which I use for cutting fuselage sections and things like that. So that was the power supply, and the other thing that I use is this dimmer switch, which is a Christmas tree dimmer I found on eBay, which has got, well, if you look at that, it's 12 to 24 volts rated at 8 amps. So it's more than capable of controlling the output that I need. So the input side, the 12 volt input side goes there, and we've got a variable output side which is controlled by the knob on the dimmer. And I've taken those 2 leads to 2 things on the chocolate block, and the banana plugs that are on the end of the wire just fit into there. So the thing is, the shorter wire, if I bang it on full, that's giving me the full 12 volts and giving me for the longer wire, and it's giving me a reasonable amperage, which is heating up the wire nicely. So you then adjust it to, you don't want the wire red hot, that it just melts the styrofoam away from itself and you get a great gap. And I found that this little blue arrow I've put on it, it gives me sufficient output for the smaller bow. And that was it really. The design that I saw on the internet, the chap had cut off all these wires because he didn't need them, but I thought I'll just tie wrap them back and keep them out of the way. So I plugged everything in and plugged my bow in, and then switched it on, and nothing happened. So back on the old internet again, and sort of say, why isn't my power supply working? And I found one reference that said that in some cases it won't work unless the green wire from the power supply is shorted to earth. So what I did, I got the green wire and the black wire and put a switch on it, which is in the off position for the power supply. So plugged everything back in, set it up, and then flick the switch, and lo and behold, I got some output and some current flowing through the hot wire. So what I do is that when I'm about to use the wire, it's all set up and tensioned and everything, and all my templates are done and on the styrofoam. I then switch that switch down, and it switches it on, and I use it, and then I can flick that switch back up, and it stops the output, and the wire then goes cool again, and I don't have to keep switching the power supply on and off. So that's the power supply to the hot wire cutter. Next time I'll try to show how I create templates and put them on the end of the styrofoam blocks and use the hot wire cutter to cut the various profiles out. So that's all for now, and I'll have my cup of tea.